Great. Dr. Jaffe, thank you for being with us. Would you please share with our customers, someone writes in and wanted to know, and I'd like you to share if you would, please, the best product recommendations for someone that is dealing with anxiety and or depression?
Well, let me start out with something I learned from a variety of Buddhist teachers. If you live in the moment, you can be free of depression and anxiety. If you live in the past, you'll be depressed. If you live in the future, you'll be anxious. So we suggest being a nowist, live in the moment. Look at Eckhart Tolle and his book, The Power of Now, or if you prefer, he has online very short, but I think very attractive videos, bringing you into the moment. So we want to bring you into the moment. Then in the moment, we have PERQUE products that will help you with restorative sleep. And we have a whole half an hour so that at the end of the day, you can settle into restorative sleep rather than just falling into bed exhausted. And then we have things that favorably affect your mood, but it's amino acids that often people are deficient in. And the simple combination of natural amino acids often helps bring moods into the kind of frame of reference where they are resilient as opposed to helpless and hopeless. So yes, we recommend our Super Multi, we recommend our C Cleanse, we recommend the essentials that everyone needs. And then in addition, let us help with restorative sleep, including the supplements related to that, enhanced uptake, tryptophan that becomes serotonin and melatonin as needed in the deep brain, where it's used very quickly without flooding the whole body with something that could be harmful. We always follow physiology, not pharmacology. And we do physiology before pharmacology. And there are people who know the pharmacology better today because in the last decades that I've been using physiology first, we have barely needed psychopharmacology. Now, I know that many psychologists and psychiatrists are taught that you can only add medicines, you can never taper them. I actually disagree with that. There are a number of researchers and clinicians, including Kelly Brogan and others, who have written books about how to safely taper slowly. And we agree with tapering and slowly, including giving the locus of control or the authority, if you will, to the individual. If they feel they need a little more of the medicine that they're weaning from for a day or two or three, let them go back up a little bit. But on balance, over months and months and months, we want to rehabilitate the nerve-to-nerve connections in the brain, both in the central nervous system and in the gut nervous system, and also throughout the periphery, where there's lots of muscles interacting with nerves and nerves interacting with muscles. And when the message is, we're fine, you're fine, then your moods are what we would call moderate, stable, and resilient. And on the other hand, many people keep it together, but it's costly. They don't really get restorative sleep. They don't really allow themselves to stretch and breathe. They don't really give themselves me time because they're so occupied either with their responsibilities or with their responsibilities, could be inner or outer responsibilities. But I'm telling you, if you don't invest a little bit, like 5% of your time, 72 minutes a day is 5% of your time. And we can show you how to take care of yourself, renew yourself, restore yourself, including better moods, by following this self-care approach, which invests about 5% of your day and my day in ourselves. And yes, every once in a while, if you can take a retreat and go to a place that's a monastery or an ashram, that's why they exist. If there's someone who is in the nowist category and you want to have a online or telehealth or other kind of interaction, more and more of these kinds of people are available. When I went to debunk this, it was very unusual for Western academically trained physicians to even bother thinking about the mind-body-spirit continuum. And I will tell you, as a man of science and a man of spirit, that they're all important, that my body, my mind, and my spirit are things I treasure, I'm grateful for, And I am particularly grateful that I get up each day feeling as well as I do. And as some of you know, I used to weigh 65 pounds more, and I was a little fluffy because over about 30 plus years, I gained a couple of pounds a year. And I think it was Rick Warren, he's a minister, and he's the one who said that over decades, he gained a few pounds a year until he was overweight enough that it impaired the quality of his life. And I have lost the weight long enough that I am not going to find it again. I can tell others how to lose it safely and effectively so that you don't lose lean muscle, you don't lose joints, you don't lose bone, you don't lose organs, you just lose fat. And to be very simple, the difference between a 130-pound or 150-pound lean person and, say, a 260 to 300-pound obese person, the difference is fat. The 300-pound person has the same muscles as a 150-pound person. They have the same bones and joints. So we recommend getting the bad stuff out, including the stuff that's stored in the fat pads of the body, but doing it safely under guidance with folks who understand physiology, how to determine for the individual their essential nutrient requirements, from the C cleanse to having enough of the essential omega-3 fats, as well as enough of the repair elements so that your high sensitivity C-reactive protein marker is less than 0.5, and your hemoglobin A1C is less than 5% or thereabouts. And you are sweet enough as you are. You don't need empty calorie sugar in your diet. But just as a small point, the average American today in 1 week eats as much sugar as our grandparents ate in a year. So we really have changed the whole dietary equation, and I want to go back to wholeness. I want to go back to foods that are easily digested, assimilated, and eliminated. I want to go back to foods that are nutrient dense, because that's where I add life to years and years to life. Please join me, because I'm planning to be dancing at 120, and I would like you with me.